Toy Rider, YouTube toy collecting reviews, good and bad and getting legends, restorations on memories.
One thing I love about YouTube is the interactions with other people who have the same interest of you from all different walks of life, from different countries, and it's absolutely great, and I love it when people ask me questions. And this video is to answer a question from Dominic's Geeky Life. Hello Dominic, I hope you're watching this, and I just want to say thank you for your comment. And Dominic asked me, I thought I spent a lot of money on toys. How do you afford these? And it's interesting because I was actually going to address this in my last video, but I cut it out. So this is what this video is about, is how I afford all of this, how I fund my hobby. And there's a couple of things I do, to be honest with you. Number one, I've got a pretty decent job. I've worked hard to get where I am, and I don't drink. I haven't drank for nearly 2 years now, 2 years in September. I don't smoke. I don't take any illegal substances. I don't really go out to, well, we can't really go out at the moment, but even before that, I very rarely went out to pubs and all of that kind of stuff. So over the last couple of years, my expenditure has gone down from especially going out drinking to pubs and all of that kind of good stuff. Well, I say good stuff. So my one habit is toy collecting, and something I really get a joy out of and a buzz out of, and that is my plastic crack. That's the thing I look forward to after I've paid my mortgage, my bills, paid my car, and sorted some money out for the little one, as well as putting some money up for a rainy day. Then I've got a little pot of money left that's mine, and what I choose to do with that is mostly buy a few toys. And that isn't where the majority of the funding comes from, but it's where I'd say a decent amount of it has come from. In the last month or so, every June is obviously my birthday, so I tend to treat myself to something big at that point. And I also paid a bonus in end of June, beginning of July. This year, believe it or not, it was still pretty good, because the results weren't about COVID and didn't take that into account, and we ended up with a pretty decent bonus this year. We all did where I work, and that was great. And as well, I suppose, whereas this time of year I would be saving that, I'd be saving any birthday money I got for TFN. That isn't happening this year. So whereas I probably would rein in my toy spending and start saving some money per month for the big event in August, I haven't got to do that this year. So I haven't really worried about that either, and saving for toys and that. So that's one part of it, that, you know what, yeah, I don't do a lot of the other things that some people do, spend money on. The other thing that I've done, and this is more of a recent thing, I'd say recent, within the last couple of years, is before, when I bought something, it was in my collection and that was it. It would stay with me forever. And I've very much changed that habit now. I mean, I would absolutely not sell any of the Transformers I had when I was a kid, and I absolutely would not sell any other toys I had when I was a kid, and I wouldn't sell certain toys that have sentimental values. But there are toys that I'm not afraid to move on now, and I think that is a contributing factor. It's a bit like a stock rotation. I know it might not make sense, but essentially I'll buy something in, and this is a great thing about this hobby, rather than, I don't know, let's say going to the pub and getting drunk. Well, once you've spent that money on a pint, it's gone. There's no way of recouping that money, but there is value in every toy that we buy, and it might not be the value of what you spent on it, which is okay, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you bought something new, say, you will move that on, and you will get something else potentially with that money, but it might not be what you've invested in it. And you know what? That happens most of the time when you try and sell something. But there are some other occurrences where actually you make a bit of a profit, and either way, that's money that's coming back into you. You've put £20 on a toy, spent £20 on the toy, you've enjoyed it for 2, 3, 4 months, even years maybe, potentially. And at the time it doesn't fit in your collection. Oh, I've just knocked my phone on the floor. And at the time it doesn't fit in your collection, I pack it away, it goes into the loft, and if I don't miss it, then I think, well, why is it in the loft? There are lots of stuff in my collection in the loft that I don't want to let go of, but actually what I'm finding is some of the newer stuff I'm buying, actually I'll move it on and I don't miss it. And in the one occurrence where I did sell something, it was Studio Series Barricade, I was able to pick that up for exactly what I sold it for. So you can always rebuy these things. It's not like it's a childhood toy where there's sentimental value attached to it. It is just a version of that toy, and there are other versions of that toy. And if you move it on, you can buy it back. That might be for the same price, it might be less, it might be more. There you go. Let's talk about the sales that I've made, and let's have a few case studies, a few examples of where I've made money, where I've lost money, just to give you a few examples of that. So the first one, first of all, I might as well tell you my 90-day running total on eBay is I've made £1,086 from sales. Now, some of that stuff is inflated by the fact that I've sold my old mobile phone and some other non-toy related stuff. But mainly, I'd say 2/3 of that, maybe more, is from selling on toys that I had in my collection that I no longer wanted. So let's talk about some examples of that. I sold a Marvel Legends 80 years Deadpool set with the Deadpool squirrel and the Deadpool dogpool and squirrel pool. I sold that on. I got $39.99 for that, and I bought it for $29.99. So obviously you take into account all your fees and all that, but let's put that to one side for now. Made a tenner profit there, and I've recouped that initial investment. And this is the point. What you're looking to do is, if you don't want something in your collection anymore, you want to try and recoup as much as you can as that initial investment, and that puts basically you break even. This one I got £10 up. I bought a Stranger Things 11 figure for a tenner, sold it for a tenner, so about broken even there. I found a couple of Final Fantasy figures in a charity shop, paid £1 for them, sold them for £8. So that's a pretty decent profit. It's not a lot of money, but it's still a decent profit. I sold my NECA Kenner Tribute figure. Didn't really fit in with what I wanted. It was a cool figure, but I didn't really get any enjoyment out of it, and I think I paid £22 for that, and I sold it for £14. Yes, £8 loss, but it's also £14 gain, because that's something that would be chucked in a box and never see the light of day again. So that's money that you can reinvest in a toy. I sold a Thor 2-pack from the Dark World. I paid £25 for that, sold it for £30. Again, £5 profit there. Sold a Bike and Mice from Mars figure and bike. I think the bike cost me 20p at a car boot, and the figure cost me 25p, I think it was. So let's call it 50p. Sold that for $9.99. I bought a Marshall Bravestar figure last year, and it was amazing, and it is an amazing figure, but I've got no attachment to that figure whatsoever. And I paid £28 for it. I sold it for £46, so I've got a bit of a profit there. I bought a Wally figure from a car boot for £2, and I've sold that for £10.49. I bought some 6-inch Star Wars figures, Captain Phasma, a Snow Trooper, a Flame Trooper. I think the Flame Trooper cost me £5, the other two cost me £2 each from when I went to a fair. So less than a tenner, £24 sales. And this is a great example as well. So Siege, War for Cybertron, Megatron, great toy, absolutely loved it, but I really, really wanted the Netflix version, and it is a superior version. I sold my original Megatron for £21, which meant that I only invested £19 in getting that other Megatron. So again, you can upgrade toys. I mean, there's been times when I've actually considered selling on, I don't know, for example, the Siege Ultra Magnus. I could get the box set with everything else in there with a better paint job. I'm not going to do that, but yeah. And A couple of things I want to talk to you about now are some big wins, some absolute big wins. I went to Lego Discovery in Birmingham just before lockdown in February. My son had a day off, and we went up there to have a bit of a play, and it was a great day. And in the Lego shop, they had some of the 1989 small versions of the Lego Batmobile, and they were priced up at £25. They had about 10 of them. So I bought one. On hindsight, I should have bought two, but I bought one. And I thought to myself, well, actually, you know what? If we do get locked down and everything like that, I'll build that. And even in lockdown, when I have got a bit of time, I say I had a bit of time because I've been working loads, but I didn't build the thing. Anyway, I just decided to move it on because someone else would get some enjoyment. And if I didn't open it during a time when I had time to actually sit and build it, then even if I do get round to it, I wouldn't enjoy it anyway. Paid £25 for it, sold it for £95 on eBay. So there you go, and that isn't because I've bought it because I'm a scalper, because I don't think you should do that one bit. But at the end of the day, I bought something, I changed my mind on it, I listed it, and I made a profit from it. Very similarly, I had the Masked Jackal figure, and I bought this from the NEC Toy Fair in, I think it was January last year, or it might be Christmas the year before. I've had it for about a year anyway. And I paid £12 for it. It come with everything, the box, the instructions, but it did not come with the masks. And I listed that thinking I might get 20-30 quid for it, sold that for 80 quid. And there you go. It's pretty simple, really. I'm not afraid to move stuff on anymore. And I know things will have a resale value. I bought Clone Commander Bly, great figure. Absolutely love it at the moment. But if I don't have a space for him in my collection, I won't be scared to move him on. And I know that I'll get at least what I paid for him back, because that's what these figures go for. Plasma Series Egon. Great. Am I going to sell him on? I've got no intention to, but if I do, I'd get 15 quid back for this pretty easy. So yes, you've got a loss there, but don't be afraid of it, because it's a bit like renting a film, I suppose. You rent that film, you have that enjoyment for a period of time, and then that's over. This way, if I, for example, sell Egon here for £15, then it's cost me £5 to experience Egon and to know if I really liked it or not. And a lot of things do stay in my collection. I'm not going to say that they don't, but it's a way to actually move on. I'll give you another example of something else I am going to list. Mech Fans Toys Dinobots. I bought those because I wanted a representation of the Dinobots, and I did not want to pay the third-party prices of Fans Toys and all the other big third-party ones. So I bought the Mech Fan Toys ones because I weren't impressed with the Power of the Primes ones, and they were a pretty decent little set of Dinobots. Now I've heard the announcement that Studio Series 86 are going to do some Dinobots, and I'm like, well, actually, you know what, I'm going to move on them now. They're actually been in the loft for a month or so, and that's a general rule. If I put them away, that's the first nail in the coffin. If they stay up there for a couple of months and I don't miss them, then I'll move them on. So, Dominic, I hope that answers your question to how I afford all this stuff, really. It's a combination of working hard and not having any other things that I'm really interested in to spend my money on. I don't even buy that many games anymore, although I've bought The Last of Us 2. But yeah, don't be afraid to sell stuff on, because at the end of the day, something that you've bought that you might not enjoy anymore might actually fund something that you really want and you might miss out on. So until next time, anyway, I've been Zork Rider. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you again soon.